There is nothing in this video about Liverpool Football Club. Well, it's not my intention for there to be, but I might talk about something to do with Liverpool Football Club. No, this video is Omelette Watch. Yeah, never mind Trent Alexander-Arnold Watch. These colours don't mean anything, do they? I'm not like saying I'm a big fat gay or something, am I? I just wondered. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not gay. My boyfriend is. I'm not. Try anything once. Twice if I really like it. So, if you watched my video the other day, the explosive one, explosive, you'd have known that the omelette maker blew up. So, did you hear me fart then? That one blew up. And he's ready to go back. This is the new one. That's right. And we're going to have an omelette before I go live. Well, I hope we're going to have an omelette before I go live. Last time I made an omelette, I blew the fucking house up, do you remember? I'm not joking. Watch the video. I better keep these. Usually I tear into... you know when you buy something, I just rip the box to fucking bits. I'm smelling a bit foisty today, I think. I wanted to wear this t-shirt on my flight today. Depending on your answers to my previous question, maybe I won't. Well, I won't be wearing it now. I think I need a shower. Fucking nothing but honesty around this channel, guys. I'm fucking telling you. So, we're going to have an omelette. What could we talk about while we're doing that? Liverpool Football Club. There's a good idea. Liverpool Football Club. I started supporting Liverpool Football Club when I was a young lad. I didn't know where Liverpool was. I had no connections to Liverpool. Nobody in my family supported Liverpool. In fact, people in my family supported Leeds United. Especially those people that I looked up to, which would be my uncle. I'm just getting the ingredients. Right, let's have a look what we're doing. We're going to put a bit of that in. You know what, I'm not going to use butter. I'm going to use a bit of oil. So my uncle was a Leeds United fan. I mean, he was a massive Leeds fan, you know what I mean? Like, during the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. Well, 80s, I think, more so. I don't know. I don't fucking know. And, you know, used to get into a few scrapes, shall we say. You know what Leeds fans are like, or what they were like. Oh shit, I've already got water on this fucking thing. On the cable. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to blow the fucking house up again. So yeah, he was a Leeds fan, very passionate. He don't bother that much more about it, to be honest. He don't go anymore. A lot of people that of his generation think that football changed too much. You know, like all the lads that I used to see in the pub when I was like a teenager and that. You know, my uncle was my hero, still is. And him and all his mates, you know, that used to be right into football. I think a lot of them are more into rugby league now. Because I just think football changed so much, you know. And my uncle supported Leeds. My nana, his mum, she trained the budgie to say, what does she train the budgie to say? Leeds, Super Leeds, I can't remember. It's funny as fuck. Yeah, I miss my nana. She died in 92, my nan. Had fuck all. My grandparents had nothing. You know, I spent a lot of time with them when I was a kid, you know. Like, my mum was a single parent, working 4 jobs just to keep me, you know, in the best of fucking everything, and she did. There would be no cop talk if it worked for my mum. She bought my first computer. On tick, on credit. I'm plugging this in, are you ready? It's lit up. Do you remember it says in the instructions green light on the other one? It's still, this ain't got a green light either. It's orange and red. So yeah, my grandparents had fuck all. They'd be amazed that I lived in Spain. Do you know what I mean? That we lived on 4 council estate when I was a little kid. I spent a lot of time with my nana and granddad. So much so that when I was a kid, I called my granddad Dad because my real father was absent. Didn't have anything to do with my upbringing. I did have a stepdad later in life who I called Dad. He wasn't biologically related to me, but he was my dad, you know what I mean? But as a kid, before then, my granddad I called Dad. I knew he wasn't my dad. Lovely man from the Gorbles in Glasgow. Google it. You won't want to fuck with him or anyone from there, that is for sure. Not that he was an aggressive man, he was just a, family man. Upset his family, fucking hell. Like any parent, any dad, granddad, I guess, whatever. Lovely man. He died in 1986, which was when I went to my first Liverpool game, which was the Merseyside final, FA Cup final, Liverpool versus Everton. And he had angina, my granddad. Smoked like a trooper, but them real serious cigarettes back then, And he went for an heart checkup, on the 13th of January 1986. And they gave him the all clear. They said, yeah, you're absolutely fine. Neil, he was called. I'm named after his brother, Duncan. That's where I get my Scottish name from. And his brother was killed by a drink driver. So they said, you're absolutely fine. See you next year. Next day, I had an heart attack. And died in the ambulance. They had to stop the ambulance and try and save him, My nana was there, God bless her, and that. Remember that phone call coming? I'm not trying to depress you, just telling you, a bit of background and shit like that. Grandad loved his sport. I think he was more Celtic. He was mint. He was great. Can't remember why I started talking about all that. Oh, sport in Liverpool. So my nana was Leeds. All my cousins now, well, not all my cousins. My uncle, the mad Leeds United fan, his 3 kids, Leeds fans. But my auntie that I talk about all the time, my mum's sister, his sister, it was my mum and them 2. Her 2 daughters support Liverpool because of me. And in fact, one of them used to write a column on Cop Talk back in the 90s called Red Alert, I think it was, 1999, something like that. My other one ended up paralysed. That's the one that I go and see every time I go home. That's the one I go and stay with. They're both Liverpool, and their brother, my other cousin, Neil, named after my granddad, he's Leeds. So they're all Leeds, and we've got a couple of Liverpool in there. But I didn't know where Liverpool was. Like today, if you're a young lad or a young lass or whatever, you might think, how is that possible? But don't forget, satellite TV didn't exist back then. When I was that age, there was 4 channels. No, there was 3 channels. There was 3. I remember Channel 4 being launched. So you only had 1, 2, 3. That was it. And because sometimes people say, well, why do you support Liverpool? You should support your local team. And I'm like, well, I fucking would have done if I'd have known where I lived. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't have like a dad to follow. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, my dad supports Liverpool, or my dad supports Leeds, or Middlesbrough, or Newcastle, or Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like, if you brought up, like my kids, for example, Robert and Charlotte, they're both Liverpool. Because guess what? This might come as a surprise to you, but their dad supports Liverpool. But I didn't have that. I started supporting Liverpool because of a lad at school, my best friend at the time, who was called Lee Blythe. I think he was called Lee Blythe. And he said to me, I mean, at school, junior school, that you either supported Liverpool or Manchester United back then. We're going back to 1986, right? 85, 86, something like that. Maybe before then. And even, some of the kids even used to say, I support Liverman. Liverpool and Man U. Ridiculous, aren't the fucking kids? And but Lee, he told me about this player called Ian Rush, and we had teletext back then because there was no like real coverage back then, really. And he said, look out for this player called Ian Rush on teletext. He said Liverpool will be playing at the weekend. He went, you watch. So I sat there on a rug in my mum and dad's lounge, our house, my house. My mum had met my stepdad, you know, and just used to sit there on a rug staring at a TV screen, teletext. You should Google it if you don't know what it is. I'm sure you do. And just put a bit more oil in the thing. And the page used to refresh. It'd be like refreshing a web page now. And then it'd refresh and you'd be like watching like that, and it'd say Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0, Rush 82. And I was like, fucking hell, that Ian Rush has scored again. And that's what it was like all the time. And then like my uncle bought me a Liverpool, what's it called? Hang on a minute, I'm putting a bit of my mixture in. Right, I'm going to try not to fuck it up this time. Last time it overspilled and it created all sorts of problems, didn't it? He bought me like a Liverpool clock, then I got an alarm clock and things, and my bedroom started to, you know, grow and grow with all these different Liverpool things. That's how I became a Liverpool fan. And then my mum wanted my dad to take me to a game of football. Now my dad was in charge of CID, or as my, you know, criminal investigation department or something, you know, police, plainclothes police. My uncle called them cunts in disguise. And so my dad knew everyone in the underworld, really. And my mum said, you need to get some tickets for that cup final. Take my boy. And he was like, I can't get tickets, Jen. That was my mum's name, Jeanette. She said, you fucking will get tickets. Anyway, he did. He got them on Black Market and he took me to the game. It was fucking amazing. I'll never forget it. That's why I've always held a soft spot for the FA Cup and real football. How many parents can take their kids to a Champions League final, for fuck's sake? You know, probably not even an FA Cup final these days, but certainly better than travelling all over the fucking world, isn't it, guys? So that is how I supported Liverpool Football Club. I've been a bit more sensible today with the mixture. I've used 3 eggs. We've got no spillages at the moment. When I put lid down, that might change. Now here we go. One is closing the lid. That's it. Can't do anything more now. So, you know, like when the FA Cup's on, like, and clubs disrespect that competition. Started with Manchester United, didn't it? And then the big clubs, the so-called big clubs. It really annoys me. Because if it wasn't for the FA Cup, I wouldn't have had those amazing memories, you know? And they are amazing memories. FA Cup with my dad, you know, FA Cup final with my dad. I remember watching the 1992 FA Cup final with him in the Lord Nelson pub in Scarborough. There's a Sunderland fan in there sat with his big fella. I was a kid, I'm a big fella, but what I mean was I was a kid then. Liam, I think he was called, from Sunderland, and we had a right laugh with him. Dad sat there with a pint of Guinness. I was sat there with a jacket potato, cheese and beans and garlic butter from over the road. See how he got memory? I remember things like that. And I remember that Liam saying, for every goal you score, we'll buy you a pint or something like that. And he did. So I have memories of the FA Cup with my dad, my mum. I went to the 2001 UEFA Cup final with my mum. These are important things, you know, in life. Memories. And, well, you just don't know what's around the corner, do you? So even if you don't go to a cup final, say, with your parents or your brother or your sister or your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your daughter, your son, your cousin, whatever, your friends, you always got to, like, try and, you know, if you write into your football, I'm not writing to my football anymore like I used to be, guys, I'm not. And I think that's good for this channel, to be honest with you, because it means I'm very honest with you. You know, there's a lot of people coming, hey, what's up, guys? Another fantastic, you know what I mean? No, I'll come in here and go, to be honest, I couldn't give a fuck. I couldn't, do you know what, guys? It sounds awful. I know you don't understand. I know you won't understand, but you've got to understand you haven't lived my life and my involvement with football and Liverpool Football Club. And that's, you know, another thing. It doesn't matter. What does it matter how much I love Liverpool Football Club? It doesn't matter. I love the club. Of course I love the club. But the top flight games change, you know. So I don't invest much time in it. And I certainly don't invest any money in it anymore. It just changed, that's all. But if you're a young lad or a young lass, you probably think FSG is the best thing ever because maybe you never saw Liverpool win anything, but under them you did. So you can understand why some of these people are FSG in or whatever. It's really not worth, like, getting so tight about it. It's really not, because I can tell you right now, the majority of footballers and people in the game, they don't give a fuck about you and your support. Nothing. I know a lot, trust me. I know a fucking great deal. But if you take enjoyment from it, and I still do, I just happen to like lower league football more now. But, you know, I watched that game against Real Madrid. How could you not enjoy that? Do you know what I mean? It just brings back memories, and because Real Madrid are a very big club, right? But what I was saying was, if you are still passionate about football, you know, and Liverpool in particular, of course, or whatever club you support, because there's a lot of people from other clubs watch my videos. Try and share those moments with your loved ones, the people that matter to you, because you'll always remember things. You might be in a pub watching a game and Liverpool might lose or Liverpool might win, but your mate Dave fell off a stool or something. You remember that fucking things, you know. Can I tell you about something in a pub once? My omellette's coming along right nice. So, talking about that Lord Nelson pub, right, in Scarborough. And there were some lads in there one day. And they said, let's do the aeroplane. And they all sat on the floor of the bar, you know, on the pub floor, and formed like an aeroplane figure. You know, an aeroplane's obviously got the cabin and then two wings. So they've got like a long line of lads. It was only lads back then, girls, I'm sorry. Long line of lads. And then they had they're in a line and they said, we need some wings. Right? Not chicken wings, I'll be having them later. We need some wings. Right? So they've got like a lad to sit on each side. Right? So imagine that, you've got a long line like that, and then they've got a lad to sit here and a lad to sit there. So it looked like an aeroplane on the floor. So they're going along, they sat on the floor, right? And they're going, right, ready for takeoff, right? And they're going, all this, right? Funny as fuck, everyone in pub's laughing and that. These lads have done this a zillion times. They're going along, ready for takeoff, Captain, and all that, right? And they're going along, and he's going, lift up now, yes, we're off the ground, right? And they're all up like that. Bearing left, so everyone up left like that. More so the guy on the right, standing up a little bit. You know, the newbie that they introduced on the left. So the one on the left and the right, they don't know them, right? Everyone else is in on it, in the middle. Turn him right, Captain, and all that, right? And then one of them says, Captain, we got a problem. What's the problem? Mayday, what's the problem? He says, the engines are on fire. He says, what? He says, the engines are on fire, right? And they all start making these noises and panicking and all that. And right, extinguishing engine 1 and 2. And then all of them get the drinks and fucking throw them on the two lads on each side to put the engines out. Fucking funniest thing I've don't know if you'd be allowed to do that now. I wouldn't be throwing my beer anywhere, would you? But it was funny to see. And that's what I mean about having your little memories and things with people, you know, your little days out and stuff like that. Now, I don't know what these omelettes are going to be like today, to be honest. I've taken a bit more care and precaution. But you know what? I'm going to do it there. How long have I been recording? I must be ready now, surely. Don't feel soggy, so I'm going to go with it. Oh, it looks nice. I'm definitely unplugging it. So, what have you learned from this video? Some people will watch this video and they'll enjoy it. And they'll relate to it. Because there'll be a lot of people on here who've lost their mums, lost their dads, and lost more and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, Liverpool Football Club, or any other football club in the world, to some people it's their life. It's been my life, it still is. Think about it. Think about I launched a website as a hobby. Well, it was a mailing list originally. My ambition, my aim at the time was to update Liverpool fans all over the world, because people back then, they couldn't access, there was no websites to read about Liverpool really. The newspapers weren't online initially. If they were extremely poor. You couldn't see anything about reserve coverage. I was the first person in the world to report on the reserves for people. I used to send my newsletter out all over the world. And it became my life. My life has been Liverpool Football Club. And that's why I get tetchy when people start trying to fuck with my channel or what I do, you know what I mean? Like, because it's my life. And I've done it for a long time. It's not a fucking game, you know. So some of these people, they think it's a game. And I said this the other day in a video, you know, like, technically this is my workplace, right? And people on the internet, they think they can come along, disrupt, upset people, blah, 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 because they're hiding, you know, it's virtual, isn't it? But what would happen if I went to their workplace and started harassing them or their, you know, or their workplace or people that, their colleagues or their clients? I wouldn't have no hesitation in doing that to someone. I swear to fuck. If someone was coming on here and harassing me, harassing you, and I know who they are, you fuck it, I've done it before. I've done it before. Someone used to harass me on here. Found out he was a teacher. It's true. Found out he was a teacher. And everywhere I went on social media, there he was running his mouth and saying awful, awful things that even I wouldn't say to someone that I hated, and you wouldn't either. You know, some very awful things. And he wouldn't stop. Blocked him and he kept coming back. So I found out where he worked, spoke to his fucking employer about it. He said, if it happens again, you'll be dismissed, right? Never bothered me since. Funny that, innit? Anyway, listen, I'm going to cut this one in half. I think that looks all right, to be honest. What do you reckon? Today's omelette? Well, it's two little omelettes, really. But there is some ham in there as well. I'm going to go and have that now. So the message in this video is, don't fuck with me, no. The message in this video is, cherish the memories. If you love Liverpool Football Club or whatever club you love, share it. Don't just sit in a room on your own watching football. You might say, but I ain't got no friends and no family. This is a community, right? Imagine if you dropped me an email and said, Dunk, I live in Sheffield, got no friends or family around here. I'd love to go and watch a game of football in a pub with a mate, or even someone's out. You know what I mean? I'll put you in touch. I guarantee if I made a video saying, look, Dave's in Sheffield, he's wondering if anyone in the area, there'll be someone going, yeah, Dave, I'll come and go and watch him. Do you know what I mean? So you can change that. You can change it, I promise you. And nothing would give me greater satisfaction in helping with that. But I guess most of you are covered. You know, you've got your friends, you've got your family. Some people like to be on their own. I like to be on my own, to be honest, these days. But I've got stacks of memories if you think about it. Imagine how many memories I've got to do with Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? Memories are important. We see how I remember things to do with my dad, the FA Cup. That's why I love the FA Cup. I'll never forget the 2001 UEFA Cup final with my mum. And the happiness that Gerard Houllier gave me when he spent time, you know, talking to my young daughter when she was about 6 or 7. Michael Owen as well in the Players' Lounge. Even though it's Michael Owen, you know, I'm not a fan of Michael Owen these days, to be honest, but I won't forget what he did for my little girl, you know. So, memories. Make memories. Positive memories. Look out for people. And eat omelettes.